Hi, everybody. My name is Aaron Vivenko, and I love sharing wisdom that feels very powerful to me. And the topic of today that I would love to speak about is where do we rent our energy towards? We have very divine, sacred, manifesting powers. But how often do we catch ourselves having certain discussions, imaginary discussions with people in the mirror or when we are showering or when we are right before falling asleep or when we are eating? How much time and energy goes towards something that is not actually serving you? Often people ask, why do I not know what my purpose is? But we are renting out so much space and energy towards things that are actually not serving us. How do I know what the right business opportunity is? How do I know we are all prophets? We are all prophets. And we know all the answers deep within our soul because our soul already knows what's about to happen, what will happen, when it will happen, if it will happen, what's good for the soul. But how can we tap into that energy if we only spend energy worrying about things that are not in our control, instead of investing that energy into our alignment and aligning with the soul? We choose to spend energy disconnecting from our essence. We spend energy worrying about what people think, worrying about social media, or in the media, what in the world is happening, the catastrophes. I don't know how you say it. Like the things that the bad things that happen in the world, everything that is not actually serving us. What can we do? We just have to make sure that we clean our side of the street. That's how you bring more of your soul in. And then you can help the world with that light, with your essence. But you cannot help the world by worrying. That's only gonna bring in more negativity. But that's another podcast. The topic of today is, if you want to get to know what your soul's purpose is, if you want to get to know what you should do in certain situations, should you leave this person, should you not be with this person, what do you want to do, what kind of job do you want to have, what kind of school you should go to, if you want to get to know who you are, you have to cut out the things that are distracting you and keeping you away from who you are, certain patterns, certain thoughts. Sometimes we have so much thoughts about other people, and man, let's be first busy with working on ourselves. We have so much to change ourselves. Often we question others. Why are they doing this? That's not good of them. They're being, quote unquote, bad, negative people. But let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on ourselves. That's the most important. I think we spend so much time and energy worrying about everything. And that's human nature. That is very normal. It's very normal. But can we just start minimalizing, start reducing? That already brings you into this world of miracles. That already brings you to such a deep connection with yourself. Just a little more intention with what we do. oh, I eat this because I would love to, I eat this food because I would love to nourish my soul, not just eat it because I want to have this pleasure and I you won't feel fulfilled eating this. That's an example. I go to this place to have a beautiful experience that can enlighten my soul. I go on this vacation to be more connected. We have to live with more intention if we want to be more fulfilled in life. You cannot live without structure. You cannot live without, oh, but you know, I should be free. And freedom is no rules, right? Yes and no. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't really work. Freedom truly comes when you have certain boundaries for yourself and you're able to say, no, you know what? I'm letting go of going to this party because I want to protect something much more sacred. You want to let go of the distractions that are keeping you away from your deepest connection. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out or dress a certain way or make a certain amount of money. I'm not saying that you shouldn't express yourself the way you're doing now. But can there be more things that we can align more, live with more intention? That's a deep question. Can we live with more intention? Because the moment we're doing that, we're actually clicking something in our soul. Like our soul starts speaking to us more. And you'll feel more channeled. You feel more of a king, this powerful soul that came down, this divine being, because you start listening instead of listening to the distractions, what people tell you to do, because this world tells you a lot of things you should. And if you don't protect yourself, you're gonna get overwhelmed by everything, overwhelmed by what everybody expects of you, overwhelmed by the news, overwhelmed by social media, overwhelmed by external things, by money, even. So where do we rent our energy to? If I rent to energy towards all my energy, oh, if I make this money, if I just have this money, then I'll be fulfilled, then I'll be feel good enough about myself, then I'll feel miraculous. You're limiting your soul. So even if you have that money, you won't feel connected to your soul. So that money won't feel fulfilled. That money won't feel fulfilling. Even if you have it, it's just somehow something, it's like something in your life is missing because you don't feel that connection. And often in life, people are not searching for the physical things, but they're searching for the feeling the physical things give them. And that feeling already exists within us, inside of us. But we're searching for it and we think that these physical things are the answers to all of our problems, but that's not the case. It's really not the case. So we step more into alignment if we start letting go of and reducing the amount of energy that goes outside of us. Let's first heal ourselves so we can heal the world. Clean up ourselves so we can enlighten the world. So we can clean up the world. But if we don't root within ourselves, root within something much more deeper, so much more divine, in a higher source, If we don't draw energy from a higher source, you'll never feel fulfilled, because this physical world is too limited. It's too limited for our soul. So our soul cannot truly be have full potential. And that's why things feel limited sometimes. That's why things don't don't bring fulfillment. People say money doesn't bring happiness. It brings happiness if you're connected to your soul first. But otherwise, no, it won't bring happiness. But that is with everything. Food won't bring happiness if you're not connected to your soul first, because that food might be very good, very nice, very tasteful. But the moment you're not connected to your soul, and even if you're full, you end up wanting more. Even though your body is full, how come? Because we're not truly rooted and connected to ourselves. We don't have certain boundaries, and boundaries is freedom. Often people think no rules is freedom, but boundaries is freedom because you protect your energy. It's about protecting where your energy goes. I'm thinking about somebody while I'm showering, having a discussion with them, an imaginary discussion. You know where the energy goes to that person. But we need that energy to manifest our soul's destiny, to be connected to our deepest self, not to that person. That person is there, and I bless that person, and I pray that that person has the most beautiful life. But we cannot, and you forgive that person, even though that person might have done something to you very negative, very painful. But you forgive it not because what they have done to you is right, or you don't stand up for yourself. It's not that case. You forgive them because you are protecting something much more sacred. Because you know that once you spend energy telling them, oh, you did this wrong, judging them, and just spend energy trying to fix other people, trying to tell other people, it's just a waste of beautiful life source energy that was actually, that could be, used for so much greater goals and things. And let's not forget, there's also manifesting physical things, of course. Of course, somehow we have to make money in order to take care of our family, take care of the people around us, or to have a beautiful lifestyle. All of that is meant for us, definitely. But the only way we can attract that from a place of wholeness is if we connect to our soul. Otherwise, we'll always end up chasing it. So it's before you ever go out, just first connect to your soul and then put in maximum effort. Then put in maximum effort in business, in a job interview, in school, wherever you might be, and go after your goals. Definitely go after what you feel is right and what you feel has been given to you, what you feel is the right thing to do. We are meant to have the greatest fulfillment, and everything that we desire is only we only desire that because there is a destiny waiting for us where we have fulfillment in that department, in that thing that we're searching for. If we want money, there will be, then there is, God would never place that desire within you if it wasn't meant for you in some way. Could be that you really desire money and you end up really having such a beautiful, soul fulfilling job that you don't even care about the money anymore. But the money helped you get to that soul fulfilling job, the desire for money. So somehow, some way, we're meant to have the greatest fulfillment, but we just don't know what it is yet. And the only way that we get to know, we will find out, is if we connect to our soul. Because how else are you going to find out what is meant for you? We're all original souls, all beautiful souls, and we're very different from each other. Everybody has a different soul's path. So how can you let the external world, the media, social media, how can you let your parents or your family members, your friends tell you what you should do? They don't know. And especially if they are not connected to their soul, how are they going to help you? It's just going to be more distracting. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask for advice. You shouldn't cry out your problems sometimes. I sometimes really cry out my stuff, and I'm very thankful to be able to have a community and people around me who really hold that space for me, because it can be really soul liberating sometimes, crying out and having that people around me that help me and support me. So it is a very beautiful blessing. And but we are meant to have the greatest fulfillment. And the only reason and the only way, not reason, how we can achieve that fulfillment is by connecting to our soul. And sometimes we need help from others. There's also a balance in that. You cannot do everything yourself, but you have to first root within yourself and say, okay, I don't need anything. My soul already has everything within. And from that wholeness, I attract beautiful blessings. I attract beautiful relationships, beautiful people, romantical relationship, beautiful friendships. I go on vacations and I go and have fun and I go and have beautiful foods and dinners, but only from a place of wholeness we can truly appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll always end up wanting more. And that's the beautiful thing about spirituality and being connected to your soul. It makes you satisfied with less. Because you know deep down, okay, I already have everything. You don't have to chase, and that's a big relief. You don't have to chase all the money till the end of the world. You don't have to chase people's validation, because you know deeply inside it's already there. You don't have to. That you don't have to anymore. We are such beautiful divine beings. Such beautiful divine beings, and we have true manifesting powers. We are prophets. We know the future. We know our soul as such a beautiful map already on what it wants to do in this world. It knows the path. It already knows the path. Before we were even born, the soul chose the parents, the soul chose the circumstances. I want to learn this in this scenario, and I want to learn that in that scenario. And everything was sent to us for a reason. So don't beat yourself up for making mistakes. Don't rent out the space to guilt or shame about the past, but live in the now. Okay, I maybe have made a big mistake. I truly desire to change from this. I forgive myself, and I know that the higher source, God, the creator, the universe, forgives me. But let's work on changing myself. Because why would I ever feel the need to make this mistake? Why have I fallen for this? Can it be because, you know, let's ask questions. Let's ask questions. We have to be more curious about our soul, want to learn more about our soul. That will even bring us more connected. Just be curious. How come certain things hurt me? Certain things like really hurt me. If I already know that I'm so beautiful and intrinsically perfect, why do I feel such need for validation? And then work on yourself, because it's just removing the layers, and underneath the layers is the most beautiful soul. But you have to remove the layers. And those layers, I don't know where they come from. No clue. Maybe past life, maybe just karma, however you might call it. At the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know where it comes from. Just, it's like we came into this movie and we didn't see the beginning, and we can't see the end, but we are in the process of it. In the process. No clue. Maybe in past life I was robbing people. Now I get robbed. I forgive that person. That's how you connect to your soul. You don't know. We cannot judge other people. We cannot judge the world. We cannot rent space towards victim energy. We cannot be victims in life. You don't know why you're going through certain things. You cannot be a victim. Life is too short to be a victim. You're meant to have so much, reveal so much light, and manifest so much beautiful energy. You cannot then, of course, there are moments even where I feel like a big victim, and the last thing that I want to do is take responsibility for the actions. The last thing that I want to do, really, like sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes you need some days. But it's really all about where do I want to put my energy. If I want to spend my energy, because everything is investment, if you're either growing weeds or planting seeds. If you want to set a beautiful intention and you want to plant the most beautiful flower, either way we are manifesting something. So if you're focusing on I am not good enough, or I am not strong enough, or I'm not perfect enough, then you'll manifest more of that. So where do you want to spend your energy? You have to protect, because you are a manifesting being. You just plant seeds of I'm not good enough, and those flowers will grow. Oh, those flowers will grow. And they'll cover up your whole garden if you don't take care, and if you don't just remove everything that isn't making your garden look beautiful. So you want certain flowers that are actually, the moment you walk into your garden, you want to be enlightened, you want to feel good, you don't want to make things harder upon yourself. So don't feed the fears. Say, okay, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Okay, I admit it. Often, why is it so difficult? Because we can't admit to ourselves that we are afraid. Just be okay with admitting it. And from that space, okay, what can we do about this? Maybe I can write down my fears. Because if you write down your fears, you write that energy down and you let it go out of your system. There's so many ways. Maybe I can just learn about it in a book, but be curious about your soul. Be curious about more wisdom. Be curious about how, why am I on this earth? Why am I on this planet? What is it that I came to do? What is my life's purpose? Those questions are good. They're beautiful. And for people, that might be an identity crisis, because, but the identity crisis, even if you hear all the stories, is what truly formed people. All the miracle stories really were because somebody stopped listening to what the outside world was telling them and started asking questions. Why is this happening? Why do I feel this way if I go to this job? Why don't I feel so fulfilled? Maybe I'm meant to do something different. All those questions, just ask questions, be curious. Be curious about, and with those questions, you're feeding your soul. You're feeding your soul and giving your soul more podium, more stage to talk to you, more of an opportunity to talk to you, more of a connection. Let's build a connection with ourselves, asking questions. Often what do? We do everything that the outside world has taught us and has learned us. We do what we think and our surroundings expect of us. We, but what we have been taught, whatever, all these things, we don't, if we don't root within ourselves, we won't feel fulfilled in any department. Even if you make money, even if you have a great relationship, you end up resenting the your soulmate relationship. Even if the soulmate relationship comes and you don't root within yourself and you don't grow and you won't feel fulfilled in that relationship either. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of why we have certain challenges. It's to push us to reconnect with ourselves again. It's never a problem outside of us. Everything is internal. Everything comes because there was a deficiency in our connection with ourselves. That's why something negative manifests. But let's start with, even 1% of letting go and reducing the energy that we give towards things that are not serving our soul. So worrying about the future. Why worry about the future if you already have everything right now? You're breathing, right? And you can see and you have blessings you can hear. Just hear the birds singing. In just so much energy is being spent on things that actually don't matter. Don't matter. And how many thoughts do we have a day? 25,000. I think 99, I don't know, it's just a number. 99% goes to nonsense. 99% goes to actually things that are stopping us more and distracting us even more of our soul's purpose. So I don't know. I myself, I the whole reason why I'm talking about this because I feel challenge in this. And I'm just a student trying to learn out loud. And I thank you very much for your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul's energy that you're here, not here on this podcast, but on this earth. That you know, at this time, as in this lifetime, that you came down on this earth, that is a big, big, big thing. Especially in this time, in these times. Oh my God. As a soul, you're a big soul. You're a big soul. Because now there is more chaos than ever in the world, more darkness. And that's only because there's more light than ever in the world. And our souls know that. That's why we are being pushed to our highest selves. So if you are actually alive right now, that's already such a big blessing, such a big miracle, because you have been chosen. Chosen. Wow. So thank you very much. I'm just a student trying to learn out loud, and I'm very thankful that I get to have this opportunity. I'm very grateful. And I bless you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed, and wonderful day, week, year, lifetime, lifetimes. Have a beautiful soul's journey. Bless you guys. Bye bye.